Just finished our 3 days of training in Kenya, our first training ever in Kenya.
Yeah.
We've been working together now since, 2009,
9.
I think?
Yeah.
So we're going on 7 or 8 years.
Yeah.
And after so many years working together in India, I think it's been really exciting to be here.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. And I'm curious, for somebody who's been working in adolescent health in India for longer than you want to admit, what did you find doing the training here? What was the same? What was different? We've been working with, we've trained like 1,000 teachers probably now in India.
Yeah.
And this was our first batch of roughly 18 teachers here. What do you think?
So it's been very exciting actually training the teachers here, and what I found was the first thing that struck me when I was training teachers here is the Indians are so noisy. The teachers are very noisy, and here you could actually see the attention from the teachers, listening to what we were saying, trying to grasp. In the beginning, I was not sure whether they're really understanding what we're telling them, but they were attentive. And then I realized as we went on, how involved they were, how much they took in, and then slowly the questions came up. It was not like the Indian teachers who start bombarding you with questions right from day one.
Right.
But there are lots of similarities, I find. Yeah, there's this lack of confidence in the beginning about, how can we be facilitators? We're teachers.
We're teachers,
Yeah.
right? We're not used to
We're not-
interacting with the students that way.
Yeah, how can teachers and students be equal? So that's the skeptical ideas that come up in their mind, but then slowly as they do it, they kind of get familiar
Right.
and they kind of start accepting. And I think once they start doing the sessions, we'll find that they'll get more accepted.
Right.
But that's very similar,
Yeah.
the reactions that they
Yeah, I agree, and I think part of it is the ideas about classroom management and classroom control.
Yes.
And understandably, if you're not used to a facilitative approach, then you can feel like you're giving up control.
Yes.
And what I think we're helping them to realize is you can control, but through a different way, through a
Yes.
different type of support system, rather than a very didactic sort of authoritarian type of model.
Yeah. And I think even in India, in the first training, they're still skeptical, but once they start doing the session,
Right.
they realize it. And I'm sure that's the same thing that will happen here. They're still going with skepticism. Is this going to work? But I'm sure as they do it,
And I think I'm certain that just like in India, we learned a lot over the years
Yeah.
how to train, and we adapted our training and to the local situation.
Yes.
And we'll have to do the same thing here. So it's going to be interesting to see what kind of feedback we get, what kind of results we get over the next few months, and
Yes.
where we go from here.
Yeah.